welcome to another knitting chat in April. If you haven't been here before, my name is Ina. I live in Norway, in Trøndelag, together with my family and our dog Billy. And I love to come on here and chat to you about my passion for knitting and yarn in particular. So I hope to be able to spread some knitting inspiration and joy for our craft. So how are you doing? I hope you're doing super well and knitting on things that brings you joy. I have been on a real sock knitting kick lately. I will show you in a minute. But before we dive into that, I wish you a warm welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, I'm so happy that you are here. Thank you so much to everyone who leaves beautiful comments and give me thumbs up and feedback. I love to interact with you. So yeah. Very pleased to have you here together with me today. You can find me on Instagram as ina.knits. I happens to be quite active in periods, and then I need a small break and then I come back again. And now I haven't been on there much lately, but I feel inspiration striking again, so I will probably pop up there very soon and start posting again. But you're most welcome to join me over there as well. And I have a Patreon which is called Ina Knits, so of course you're welcome to join me over there as well. And my account on Ravelry is Inapina, and I do have a group on Ravelry as well, the Ina Knits podcast, I believe it's called. And I am planning to take on a knit along starting May 1st, and I do hope that you will join me for some months knitting together. I will give you all the details a little bit later in this chat. And I would like to just put it out there that I record these episodes both in Norwegian and in English. So if Norwegian is your preferred language, please just jump over to the other episode. It is linked below, or you can go into my YouTube profile and find it on the top there. Let's start chatting, shall we? So as I said, I have been urging like small projects, quick projects lately. Seems like the entirety of last week I only knitted on socks, which meant that I got quite a few pairs of my needles. A couple of these are older whips, meaning they were on my needles before we started 2024. And a couple of these sock pairs are for a knit along and a charity. So a charity knit along, which is so wonderful. I love knitting for charity. So yeah, I think I will start with showing you the pairs that I knitted for that particular charity knit along. So yeah, it is a Norwegian podcast. Her name is Frøken Petrine and she's only podcasting in Norwegian. She started a knit along to knit socks for the Salvation Army here in Norway. They will receive several pairs of socks every year, and they are giving them out to those who need them, homeless people, other in need of socks or other garments as well. Like you can provide them with hats and mittens and scarves and yeah, but I figured I would like to donate a couple of pairs of socks at least. I think that this particular knit along runs until June 1st. So I dived into my sock yarn stash, and if you've been there before, you know that I am really eager to knit socks with fingering weight yarn, and I came up with pattern on how you could hold 2 strands of fingering weight sock yarn together to create a thicker pair of socks. So these are my cozy Hygge socks. I'm just showing them to you now for reference. This pair is the very first pair that I actually made, so they have been worn by me for years. And you can probably see that, although they hold up quite well. I am still enjoying these very, very much. But I also have some, not very much, but some DK weight sock yarn in my stash. So I decided to use the Cozy Hygge sock pattern to make DK weight socks. These are DK weight too, of course, because you hold 2 strands of fingering weight together. But this pair is made out of a DK weight sock yarn, and you can of course use the same recipe and get the same size of socks using a single strand of DK weight yarn too. So this is the first pair that I knitted. They are men's size socks, European 44 or 45, and I take that back. These are not only men's size sock. Of course you could use that kind of you could have that kind of foot size whether you're a man or a woman. I'm not judging anyone, of course, so sorry about that. But yeah, this is the first pair that I made, and this is made using a deep stash. It is a sock yarn from Sandnes. It is called Robust, and I looked it up on Sandnes website, and they still carry this base, but they only have one color available, seems like. This is a yarn that is a combination of wool, cortel and nylon. And the cortel, I had to look it up, and it is a acrylic yarn. So I would say that this particular sock yarn is quite soft, and it's probably due to the cortel content. And they got these marled colors. Really pretty. I really enjoy this green one. I only had one of the green, and I had 2 of the grey and 2 of the purple color. So, and I had used the grey and the purple before knitting my mom a pair of socks some years back. So yeah, and I wasn't too sure if I would have enough of any of the colors for a pair of socks, so I decided to knit stripes. And as you will see throughout here, knitting with stripes is a way for me to keep me motivated as I knit. It would be so boring for me to knit a solid colored sock, but if I do use the stripes, it keeps me motivated. I'm looking forward to the next stripe and the next color all of the time. So yeah, so this is the cozy Hygge sock. It's the largest size, and I knitted the foot a little bit longer than I would usually do. So that is the first pair that will be donated to the Salvation Army. And the second pair is out of another DK weight sock yarn that I found in my stash. And this is an oldie but goldie too. PT is it is Arauma yarn, and this particular base is called Tasselad. And the yarn is a little bit more scratchy. On the scratchy side, it's 80% pure new wool and 20% nylon. You can't really tell, can you? Yeah, maybe you can, but this is way softer than this one. This is pretty scratchy actually. And I held it not together, but I combined it with another yarn. This is more like a sport weight than DK weight, but it worked nicely together with the DK weight. This is a Melonragi from Järbo, and it has been in my stash for ages. It's a deep red color, as you can probably tell. So this is the sock that I knitted. I have number 2 ready as well. And yeah, I'm still working those stripes to keep me motivated and going. So I did it a little bit different. It's the same stitch count as the cozy Hygge socks, but I knitted a 1x1 rib with stripes, and then I switched over to 3x1 rib from that point and downwards. And I kept the pattern going on the top of the foot and knitted stockinette plain knitting on underneath the leg or the foot. So yeah, these are probably European size 41, 42. So they are a tiny bit smaller than the first pair. And they feel way more scratchy than the first pair, but I tried them on actually. They're a little bit too big for me, but I really like them. They are so warm and toasty. So for a second there I really considered to keep them myself. But no, I'm going to donate the pair as well. So that is 2 pairs of DK weight socks for the Salvation Army and a knit along of Fröken Petrine. And I have over a month until that knit along ends, so I'm going to continue crank out pairs like this. I'm really feeling to just knit up every small scrap from my DK weight sock yarn stash, and I don't have that much, so it should be doable in the time frame that I got. So I'm looking for something to combine with my leftover of the Robust. And yeah, this is all that I got left from the Tasselad. I have this one, and I have another bowl of melonraggi. These are 100-gram bowls, so there is more than enough for one pair of socks. And if necessary, I will combine 2 strands of fingering weight yarn and knit some kind of stripes or color blocks together, or not together, but I will combine 2 strands of fingering and block it or stripe it with these, just to kind of crank out some socks with the remains that I got here. So yeah, I was really feeling the socks. And I have more socks finished. And yeah, I will probably just start off with showing you my recent finish. And if you have been watching my previous episode, you will have seen these. Just putting them on the blockers. So yeah, this is a yarn that I bought in Italy. I was visiting Florence in our fall break last year, and I understand that this is not an Italian yarn. I think it's a German yarn, but it's made in Italy. Oh well. It's the Fortissima color, and this particular color is number 2493. And I so much enjoyed all of these, like pastel colors combined with some fun orange and lime green. And I have knit myself a pair of socks. And this is, I don't know, it's only a very, very standard sock recipe that I have in my head, and it is the sock that I make when I don't want to think about anything. So they're just plain vanilla. And yeah, I really enjoy how these stripes and dots and yeah, how they play together. Really cute. So this pair was started in the middle of March, I believe, and they've been mostly in my handbag and accompanying me on errands and at work, and yeah, several occasions where I just had the opportunity to pull out my knitting and knit a couple of rounds. So they have taken a little bit more time than usual, but on Monday this week I was in Trondheim and I met up with some local to me wonderful ladies. They also have their knitting podcasts, so that was so lovely. And my needles went really fast that afternoon and evening and I was able to finish the second sock by the time I got home, or the morning after. So now they're off my needles, and that is really nice. So I kind of forgot to say, but the DK weight socks I knit on 3.5mm needles. This pair, which is out of a fingering weight yarn, I knit on 2.25mm needles. And yeah, I cast it on 60 stitches, just for your reference. So yeah, that was the third pair. I will keep these myself. And I can show you these now. This is a really old whip that I think I started it 2 or 3 years ago. It was out of a yarn, I don't have it with me now, but a Rauma yarn which is called Vandre. And it is made out of 100% Norwegian sheep wool and no nylon content at all, but I have used a particular wool that is very hard wearing and suitable for socks, and it's also spun in a way that makes them extra hard wearing. And my son, he gifted me 2 balls of blue and 2 balls of red for Christmas approximately 3 years ago, which of course was a wonderful gift to receive. I was so heart warmed and happy about that. Yeah, long story short, I started a pair of socks and I intended them for either myself or him. His feet are a little bit larger than mine, but so I knitted these according to his feet, and I gave him the opportunity to kind of decide whether he wanted to keep them or whether I could have them, or whether we should donate them to the Salvation Army. I had to go and grab a charger from my camera real quick, so if something seems a little bit off in the background here, that's why. But yeah, we were talking about the Vandre socks, and my son, he decided to keep them himself, and that is wonderful. I still though have 1 ball of each of the colors left, a little bit more of the red than the blue. So I think I might knit them together with some of the other DK weight yarn and make a pair of charity socks out of the leftovers as well. So yeah, a little bit on the scratchy side these as well, but they're toasty warm and quite nice to wear as outer layer socks, if you know what I mean, like house slippers. Yeah, and I can't help that bright red and blue is definitely not my favorite combination. I've talked about this before, but these just speaks like soccer or football supporter socks to me for some reason. Yeah. But I'm very pleased to have them off my needles, as they've been there for a couple of years now, and have another UFO ticked off my list this year. I have yet another pair of socks to show you. So back in October I had my Socktober theme going on over at Instagram and also here on YouTube, where I casted on and knitted socks all the way through the entire month of October. And some of those socks were finished and some weren't. This is one of them that I think I finished it last year, not exactly sure when, but I just barely started the second one, and it has been lingering all until last weekend. So this is Crazy Sober ball in the colorway Route 66. It is the remaining ball after another sock pair I knitted earlier, and I think I had just under 50 grams left. So my thought was that if I paired it together with another yarn, I would be able to crank out a full pair of socks. Yeah, so the yarn I've used, the brown one, is this. To me this seems like an Arvetta from Filcolana, but it actually is knit couture in the color 352. But it says that it is produced by Filcolana, so the base and the way it is made into a ball or a skein is exactly the same way as they do with Arvetta. So it's a beautiful, rich, caramelly brown color, which I thought went very well together with the lilacs and the purples and some burgundy and mustard color. It's really pretty. So this was the first one, and then I continued knitting on the second one, and now there's a pair. I did run out of the crazy sour ball down here. So second sock got a lot longer brown toe than the first one. I could of course have like undone the toe of the first one and made sure to end the sour ball at the exact same point on both socks, but I do not mind at all. These will be socks for myself, and I like them as they are. I have made the socks the exact same way as I did with my Easter spring socks, but I added texture pattern. It's not exactly a pattern, but it is a pearl stitch that creates some interest, and it is done on every fourth row throughout, on the top of the foot and around the leg. So it is almost the same for me as to knit using stripes, because it creates a little bit of interest and keeps the spark going when I knit. So yeah, I think the challenge for me to complete these socks is that the colors are kind of dark, and I have reached the age now where my sight isn't what it used to be, so I struggle a little bit working on details when I don't have sufficient daylight or working light. And yeah, then it's way easier to work on colors that are on the lighter spectrum or brighter. Yeah, so yeah, but now when we are in April, there were no issues at all. We have daylight now until 9 o'clock or something, and soon there will be daylight until midnight for us, so lighter and brighter days ahead, for sure. But yet another UFO of the needles, which makes me so happy. I'm very pleased with myself. And 5 pairs of socks of the needles since we last spoke 2 weeks ago, which is pretty good, isn't it? I have also picked up another sock whip. Just going to show you super briefly because I haven't made that much progress. This is the last sock whip that's on my needles right now. Can you believe it? It is a shorty sock that I knitted last summer. To me, this yarn is very summery for some reasons, probably due to the very bright colors. This is a biscotti yarn, and it's a self-striper, as you can probably tell. I had a problem with the shorty sock that it slipped off my heel. So I ripped it back, ripped it out and reclaimed the yarn, and now I'm knitting the sock a little bit longer. So this is a longer cuff, and then I have knitted approximately 5 centimeters before I started the heel flap. You can just barely see it here. And I will knit the heel flap in a way that makes the heel deep enough, so I won't have the same problem with them slipping off my heel when I wear them. But it will still be kind of a shorty sock, I think. So yeah, I'm just keeping that little sock whip in my beautiful basket that I love, and that usually hangs out in our living room, so I can pick it up easily and do a couple of rounds every now and then. I just have one more whip to show you today. I haven't touched my terracotta sweater during these past 2 weeks. I kind of felt that I needed a break due to all of the issues with the pattern that I talked about last time. But I will tackle my terracotta very soon. I feel like it would be good for me to just complete it and make it into a sweater that I really want to wear. But before I start on that project, I have casted on something else. And yeah, which is a pair of mittens. So yeah, after I completed those 5 pairs of socks, I urged something different, but still a smaller project. And I noticed that there is several knit-alongs going on in the Norwegian speaking knitting podcast universe, and I follow a lot of Norwegian knitting podcasters as well as international. And yeah, in one of those knit-alongs, you're supposed to knit mittens all year round. For April and May, I believe you were supposed to knit a mitten that's called jenny-votten or jenny-votten, which is a beautiful pattern by Lise Engdahl. So I have made the first mitten. Isn't this pretty? I'm just so in love with this pattern. I think it's super cute. So it is an all over stranded color work mitten. As you can see, it's almost in the same way that you would describe a selby mitten, but you have these beautiful flowers and some mini flowers in the palm of your hand. And I picked out from my stash for these mittens Rauma Finull. This is color number 4036. It's a beautiful like cornflower blue, matchy matchy, almost. And an old gem from my yarn stash, which is this one. And this is a hand-dyed yarn from Verbit. I don't think that Verbit is in business anymore, but they have colored this, or they have dyed this yarn, which is, the base is a Hillesvåg Ask, and it is pretty similar to Finull. And it is called Sparkle. It is not called Sparkle, it is called Stressel. Really pretty. And I am on mitten number 2. Just barely started the thumb increases back here. So yeah. And I just love these subtle flexes of colors throughout due to the speckled colored white yarn. It's so fun. And these are knit on 3mm needles, and I used a 2.25 for the cuff. It's a very, very fun in-between project, and I can feel that after I've kind of knitted socks or basic things for a while, I really crave a good color work project. It is very meditative and soothing for me to knit color work. So yeah, Lise Engdahl, she's a Norwegian, both podcaster, she podcasts only in Norwegian, and she is dyeing up beautiful yarn, and she has quite a few designs up on Ravelry. This unfortunately is only in Norwegian, but if you are a skilled color work knitter, I believe that you could knit this from the Norwegian pattern because it comes with a diagram. So it's pretty easy to follow either way. But Lisa has some other beautiful mitten patterns and socks and other things as well, which are available both in Norwegian and English. So I was thinking that it would be fun to have a knit along. I haven't had one for a long while, and my group over at Ravelry has been kind of just inactive for a few years, and I figured I would like to have a new knit along that starts on May 1st and runs until November 30th. And the theme for the knit along is Norwegian independent knitting designers. Like Lise Engdahl or a lot of other wonderful designers that is kind of publishing their designs independently and not through a yarn brand or through any other like brands. So I thought that would be great, both because it is a way to get to know a lot of independent designers that I haven't been aware of or that is new to me, and get some inspiration from others that has been knitting their designs previously. So my idea is to put together a list, and please let me know if you know of a list like that already, because then I of course can borrow the information from that source. But over at Ravelry I will open one thread for like a list of designers and ideas for designs that you could explore and maybe try out for yourself. So if you have any independent designer that's not on the list already, please let me know in that thread. That would be amazing. And I will open another thread where you can post your finished projects made from a pattern that is published by an independent Norwegian designer. And I think this will be so exciting. I can't wait. I will probably finish my jenny-votten prior to May 1st, but if you have something on your needles already, you are most welcome to join in on this knit along. It doesn't have to be something you start after May 1st. I am all in on like ticking off older whips or UFOs. So if you have something on your needles already that is made out of a pattern of a Norwegian independent designer, please enter them into this knit along. It will be super fun. We are running this for 6 months and I'm planning to draw for winners 2 or 3 times throughout the knit along, and then I will have a big drawing when we are finished by December 1st. So that's it. I hope that that's it for the knit along. I think I will create a hashtag that can be used in social medias if you'd like to post anything about it. And I hope that you are eager to join in as well and share your tips on Norwegian independent knitting designers. Another interruption, unfortunately. Somebody came home during my recording yesterday and suddenly I found myself making dinner and it was time for evening activities with the family. But here we go again. I was in the middle of explaining to you my little giveaway that I have planned. The occasion is my birthday coming up in a little under a week, and I just really wanted to give something back to you and kind of kickstart a Norwegian independent knitting designer knit along that I am planning to run from May 1st until November 30th. And of course you don't have to participate in the knit along in order to be eligible for the prizes in the giveaway. But what you do is just post a comment under this video and either comment with your favorite Norwegian independent knitting designer, or just state that you are interested in participating in the giveaway. And I will give away 3 patterns on Ravelry. So and the patterns should be from one of those Norwegian knitting designers. And of course of your choosing, there's no kind of limits to that. I will give away like single patterns, not bundles, but I will draw 3 random winners in my next episode, which will be in the beginning of May. So that is a great way to both get some inspiration from others about their favorite Norwegian knitting designers, or for me to kind of see what's out there. I'm really excited and eager about this and I can't wait. I already have a few in the top of my head that I want to kind of that I want to put on my list, and I'm very excited to see if you have some input and know of any designers that I don't know about, because there should be a lot to choose from. So yeah, I hope that you are interested in participating, of course, both in the knit along and the giveaway. And yeah, it will be exciting. I just have a few new incoming goodies of yarn to show you, and then it's time to wrap up. I have gotten my monthly subscription from Fru Fjällman, the lovely Swedish indie dyer that I have this secret monthly yarn subscription with. If you haven't received your secret yarn for May yet, you might don't want to look now, but here it is. It's so season appropriate in my opinion. This is called Soleil, and it is her merino sock base, and it always comes with a little cute Progress Keeper stitch marker and a couple of small sweet treats, which I have already, yeah, they don't exist anymore. So that was Fru Fjällman. And I went to Trondheim on Monday this week, and I got some lovely yarn that I'm going to use for a project. I won't say too much about that project yet, but sorry for the crinkling. This is the yarn that I got. So it's this gorgeous raspberry red in the Filcolana Arvetta. So I got four of these and 4 of this Tilia from Filcolana, and I'm planning to pair them together and use them in a garment that I will knit after I've finished the terracotta sweater. I need to finish that one first, but then it's time to cast on this one. And it's kind of a little secret project, but I will show you everything about it once it's done. Yeah, so that was what I wanted to talk to you about today, I guess. Garden season is definitely upon us now. We have such sunny, wonderful days, and I just want to do everything outdoors. We live on a property that hasn't been taken very good care of. Like, the house is in really good state, but the garden needs a lot of love and attention. So we have ordered a service through a garden center, and they will come and dig out and change out all of the soil and change the fencing, and yeah, in probably a month or a little over a month. So it's not really any point in spending too much energy and time in the garden per now, but after that, I can't tell you how much I look forward to tending my garden and making flower beds and make it look beautiful. So yeah, but in the meantime we are kind of doing smaller things indoors. I have my dahlias going, they're going nicely. I also have some cosmos that seem to coming along nicely, and yeah, I'm trying to not jump on too much when it comes to seeds and flowers and plants, but need to kind of hold back a little until I have my garden situation sorted. But then, very exciting. Are you gardening as well, or planning any garden activities? Or are you just eager on your knitting? I love to sit outdoors and knit in the sun right now. It's Some days are a little bit too cold due to the wind, but I have gotten a couple of hours in total outside knitting now, and it feels so wonderful. So yeah, I hope you are having a wonderful rest of April and that you're knitting on things that brings you joy. And please don't hesitate to participate in the giveaway by posting a comment down below. And yeah, I will open up my group over at Ravelry, so everything will be available from May 1st to participate in my knit along. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!